TB mainly affects the lungs and can ultimately spread to other organs of the body. TB is caused by a type of bacteria called Mycobacterium tuberculosis. TB is an airborne disease. When a person infected with TB coughs, sneezes, sings or talks, droplets containing the bacteria are released into the air. So what happens when people nearby inhale this bacteria? The bacteria enters the body of a healthy person. It travels along the body's respiratory system, broadly consisting of nose and mouth, trachea, bronchial tree, and the lungs. We breathe in all sorts of bacteria all the time. However, our body deploys a defense mechanism to fight these bacteria. In the case of TB, a healthy person inhales the bacteria in the air via the nose or mouth. Here, the laminar air that is inhaled becomes turbulent due to the internal structure. This bacteria then enters the trachea. The trachea or the windpipe passes air to and from the lungs. It is lined with a moist mucous membrane layer composed of cells containing small hair-like projections called cilia. The turbulent air drives the bacteria against the mucous membrane, where it gets latched and ultimately gets eliminated from the body. This is the body's first line of defense. However, if the bacteria avoids the mucus trap, they make their way further into the lungs and reach the alveoli. Alveoli are tiny clustered air sacs in the lungs at the very end of the respiratory tree. They contain macrophages. Macrophages are the primary cells of our body's immune system. They recognize foreign cells and phagocytize them or ingest them and break them down. This is the body's second line of defense. However, in the case of TB, the bacteria produces a protein that inhibits this breakdown. The bacteria thus survives and proliferates, creating a localized infection. At this point, the person has developed primary TB. 3 weeks after initial infection, the body's secondary cell-mediated immunity kicks in. The immune cells surround and wall off the site of infection, creating a granuloma, essentially to wall off bacteria to prevent it from spreading. In some cases, the immune cells are successful and the bacteria thus becomes non-viable. The bacteria in the center of the granuloma is ultimately destroyed, forming caseous necrosis, meaning cheese-like, since the dead tissue is soft, white, and looks like cheese. This biological process of wound repair results into the production of scar tissue. This is the body's third line of defense. In other cases, when the bacteria are walled off, they remain alive and viable, but dormant. This is latent TB. If the person's immunity is compromised with AIDS, malnutrition, or aging, the bacteria can break the wall and spread across the lungs. Here, since the immune system is previously exposed to the bacteria, the cell-mediated immunity kicks in quickly. This forms more areas of necrosis. This time though, these areas tend to cavitate or form cavities. This allows the bacteria to disseminate and spread through the lymphatic channels to other parts of the lungs, causing bronchopneumonia. The bacteria can also spread via the vascular system and infect every other tissue in the body, causing systemic miliary TB. TB spreading to other organ tissues can cause complications. It affects the kidneys, causing sterile pyuria or high levels of white blood cells in the urine. It affects the meninges of the brain, causing meningitis or inflammation of the protective membrane. It affects the liver, resulting in hepatitis, causing inflammation.